Hello, beautiful people of the interweb. I am Casey Daniels. If some of you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, and I just want to get into this video. So, a while back, 4 years ago or so, I did the Christian Girl tag. And you know what? I've actually been like searching all over the internet, figuring out what questions should I answer this time around for this Christian girl tag. I know there's a boatload of questions, boatload of different tags. Sorry, I'm hitting my binder that I have to do this Thursday. Well, for something for Thursday, which is pretty awesome. So I want to get into the Christian Girl tag. So I've actually pulled up somebody's YouTube video and I actually found their questions that they used for their video. I'm definitely gonna give this person this first time I've ever jumped into their video for the Christian Girl tag Q&A type thing. I'm gonna give the questions credits to Morgan Tracy J. Um, See, she seems pretty chill. I might actually have to check out her entire Christian Girl tag video. I'm sorry, I'm using your questions, but they look pretty awesome. So I want to get into it. I'm gonna do so. The one question is, why did you start YouTube? To be honest, when I first started YouTube, to be completely honest, when I started YouTube, I wanted to be kind of like famous. Oh, well, famous. And as I got into everything in my life, and I wanted to do covers, I wanted to do vlogs, I wanted to do inspirational videos, but it turned out that God had a much better plan for my YouTube channel, and here I am. Changing it up, rebranding it. Still took me 4 years, but I got that push to keep going at it. So I started a YouTube channel to be famous and rebranding it now to give the glory to God, to be honest. When did you give your life to Christ? All right. January of 2013 is when I gave my life to Christ. I gave it to him because I was in a really I've spoken about this a while ago in my last video that I was in a place that, and then I wasn't in the right mind space, and then I was like, and that's when I started writing. And I was 20 years old. No, I was 19. I was 19 years old when I gave my heart to Jesus. And when I turned 20, I asked my mom to give me my first cross, and it's a Celtic cross, and it's forever cherished because every time when I feel anxious, I just play with my cross, and crosses, because I have two now that I wear consistently. So, oh, this one's really tough. This one's definitely really, really tough. What is the first thing you had to let go once you were saved? I would technically there's not a, to be honest, there wasn't something that I had to let go of. It was something that I had to be worked on, and I've learned later on, the last 2 years ago, no, last year, the beginning of last year, was forgiveness. And grudges is forgiveness. So that means all the grudges that I held on deeply, I had to let go, because if I kept holding on to that, I was learning that holding on to grudges of other people was not how Christ lived his life and died for me. I had to let go of the grudges. And it took me a long time to actually let go certain grudges, to be honest. And next question is, what is your definition of being saved? Now, there's a lot of people renditions of being saved. And to me, to be honest, um, just my definition of being saved is that being saved by Christ is learning to take up your cross daily and to learn from his example and by other people's example, how they lead their life and how they present themselves, to be honest. I've learned over time that I look up to the younger Christian women, young women out there who are younger than me, and they impress me with their knowledge, even though I started young, not young, I start early on. I used to be like, oh, I want to preach church. And legitimately, me and my brother, we played church. I was speaking from the word, giving out Holy Communion. Like, I was that person at a young age wanting to do that. And then things got rocky in life, and being saved for me is just letting Christ in. I know I'm rambling, but it's just there's so much that I want to explain on my definition, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Take it as you will. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to give his or her life to Christ? Actually, this one's very good. I like this question. This is a really good question, because my advice for someone who wants to give his or her life or their life, his, her, and their life to Christ, it's not easy. Giving your life to Christ is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But to be honest, the more you read his word, the more you pray, the more you listen to songs that hit you in the moment, having people who you know believe in Christ himself can help you point to him daily. That is not my advice. I'm just giving you a forewarning that it's not easy. For me, it took 8 years to legitimately see and understand why people say or being told to surrender yourself, and have not your life be like Christ, be like of the world, but be more like Christ. It's different. But my main advice is to surround yourself with somebody that you know that you're friends with, that if you feel like they have the knowledge, ask them to mentor you. Legitimately, ask them to mentor you. To be honest, if I was still friends with my one friend, I was going to ask her to mentor me when I did come into Christ, but I was a year too late, and the friendship kind of like dispersed. I don't know if it was for my doing, her doing, or the Lord's doing. Who knows? Have a friend that you know that is really in the Word daily, praying daily, and like just know what God is capable of and what God can do for you. Pretty much it. Here's another doozy. Here's another doozy. I am going. This is getting like real deep, real quick. Like, can I get like what? I don't know. Just don't mind me. Um, one lesson has God taught you so far on your journey? Woo! Woo! To be honest, God has taught me so much in my journey. But the biggest one of all is when He lifted the blinders on my eyes. The lesson that I've learned with surrendering everything is that I learned that when we start out in our faith, we have blinders on. So we only see what we want to see. We want to see what the things that we want to see. When I said, Jesus, take my have my dreams, have my goals, have my future kids, put my marriage into the mix. Like my future like my marriage I'm going to have that year. Like I gave Him everything. Like I legitimately like, here you go. And He was like, so I've prayed diligently when I surrendered was, Lord, if there's any issue, like I pretty much told Him, like, Lord, if there's any like issues that I have inside of me that needs to be worked on, let me know, and can you help me work on it? He opened me up and showed me the issues that I've been pushing back for so long, even though He told me, work on this child, you need to do this. And I pushed him away for so long, and it just 2021 was the lesson that I've learned was stop being envious, stop comparing, and don't be jealous. Because in your life, you have a lot of things that you need to be grateful for and thankful for, and especially everything I need to learn. And now He's working with me with lies. Lies that I should have uprooted so long ago, but was stubborn in my own tracks. And yet again, He's still good and showing me the things that I need to work on to be able to keep moving forward with Him. So those were the lessons that I've learned. Guys, these questions are getting really, really, really big right now. Name 2 sins you struggled with. Oh. I will gotta say this. Actually, yeah. So when I started, I've always talked amongst my friends, and we chit chat about anybody and everything, like what they're doing, how they're doing. Like I still remember I was with one of my former friends, and we were talking, and they brought up another friend of mine, and I was like, okay, like I get it, like I get it. We were hurt by said friend, and it just got, and from there, that's all we talked about was that friend consistently. If they found a new thing, I was just like, I can't do it. That sin was gossiping. I had legitimately. It took me till recently to realize that gossiping was not going to get me further. It's not going to further my knowledge of anybody or anything. It only showed a side of them that I was not expecting. But for me, that was like one of my. I had a lot of major sins that I had to work and overcome. And gossiping was one of them because I I don't like it. I don't like degrading people. I don't like saying how one friend is one friend is like, "Oh, did you hear that like so and so has been like doing this?" And or like, "Oh, this is but A, B, and C." Like it was one of the biggest sins that I had a hard time overcoming within myself and around me. So I've always made it a point to some of my friends that I'm done with the gossip. Like I can't. If you can't, if it's like if you can't say anything nice, don't say nothing. Don't say anything at all. I'm coming to that point in my life. I'm an adult. I'm 28, turning 29. It's starting to a point to me that's got bothersome, which happens to most of us. We don't like to hear the smack talk, the gossip, the whatevers. It's not fun to hear, but you just know sometimes you know what you can and can't say around certain people. And that's something I've learned and something that I don't like. So that's what I don't have two currently any sins I'm having a hard time is my distractions. I get my other sin. Well, gossiping I pretty much overcame in a sense. But if something does not sit right with me, I will say something to another person because it just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, the one that I'm currently working on the most is my distractions. Like I'm distracted consistently. Like my phone is my number one distraction. So I'm working on that currently. Um, who is your godly role model? Um, I do gotta say, Sadie Robinson is one of my godly role models. Her friend Lainey is another one. Um, another one is her name is Al Caraway. Think I said her last name wrong. Another godly role model is my mom and my grandma. Most definitely. Another one is Emma May McDonald. I probably butchered her last name, but she's a definite role model. Like her podcast, I've been listening to her older podcasts again, and like they are fire. And lastly, my other godly role models. And yes, some of these women are either older than me or like younger than me. Well, not last ones. I got two more. Jordan Lee Dooley, she's another role model of mine, godly role model. And these two sisters from Coffee and Bible Time. Their name is Ashley and Taylor Kraus. They have been a good role model to me. I've been watching their videos consistently. I've actually, while I was in quarantine because I had COVID in the beginning of this year, I watched all of their videos, like from beginning all the way to almost current, almost there. I'm even been going through their Bible studies more. And I'm trying to learn from them to see what I can do when it comes to my Bible. When I actually read my entire Bible, like my entire Bible, as you can see, it's starting to fall a little bit apart on the outside. And if I open it like this, it's starting to come apart like right here. Like once I read this whole thing, I'll start studying like studying the word. What are your dreams, visions, and goals? My dream currently right now, well, my dream currently right now is to be a mom. I, even though I've been married for 6 months, me and my husband have had a discussion of waiting And we pretty much said we're going to wait on God's time, because who knows when we have our own children is God. God himself will let us know when the time is ready. Let us know that we're ready and the time. So that is my dreams. My goal is to get my CDA certificate, which is my Child Development Associates, so that way I can show my parents that I know what I'm talking about when I say certain things, and that they know that their child's teacher is doing the best she can to give their child an education that's worthwhile. My vision right now is I want to continue these videos. I do want to start back up the vlogs when I can. It's going to take me a while before the vlog starts again. I do want to start these videos because having these heart-to-hearts with you guys, and especially where in my own journey, I've learned that if someone's in the same season as I am in faith, I know for a fact that whatever outcomes happen, I'll like to bring it up and help you guys along the way. And whatever I'm learning, I hope that you guys use it as a hopeful tool or whatever your heart desires. So my vision is between my blog and between these and YouTube again. I want to be able to show you guys that you're not alone in your journey with your faith. I know when I started, it was scary, but I'm now glad that I have my sister from another mister. To be honest, she's more like a sister. She's more family to me and closer to me. My friend Jess, she's my sister, like legitimately, like sister of faith. I told her we are legitimately, our souls are just like have like the spiritual bond, and it's hard to explain. Still is to this day. Don't ask, because I still have to figure it all out too. Biggest pet peeves that Christians do. I'm sorry, but I gotta do this. My biggest pet peeve from Christians, and I've learned, and I'm going to take a quote from a pastor. Back in April 3rd, I went to see my friend Larry get baptized. And the sermon during that time was pretty interesting. It was during the Easter season. They were going through John chapter 12. And most Christian, I'm saying most, I'm not saying all, I'm saying most, to some, but probably most, don't hate on me, but this pastor is right, and most of you guys can agree with me, is that as Christians, we pick apart the truth of God's word to our liking and what we see fit, and to help us understand it as well. When he said that, I know most of the Christians these days are taking God's truth and using it to their own advantage. Now, I've read Matthew multiple times, and I can tell you, I've read it multiple times. So whenever I hear a certain message, like a certain quote from Matthew, I can be like, yes, absolutely, yes, I know that part. I've read that part. I know that almost by heart. I had a chance, chapter 5 through 7 would be the most memorized verses or chapters of the book of Matthew, because of the fact that I've read it consistently. So, yes, us Christians have used text out of the Bible and used it to our own advantage to put others down. And I say we need to relook at the Bible again, reread these scriptures, go deep in the scriptures, memorize it, and realize that we take it out of context to fit our needs to make us feel so much better. But I can tell you this now. I am going to open up to Matthew. And I am going to read to you real quick. Chapter 7. Do not judge that you not judge not that you be not judged, for with what judgment you judge, you will be judged, and with the measure you see it will be measured back to you. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eyes. Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. And yes, I messed up on reading it because sometimes the words get mixed up a little bit for me, which happens. But that verse can get totally twisted. But I read you the exact same verse, and I'm reading it from the New King James Version because that version is easier for me to read. I know for some people there's a whole debate on translations, but sue me. But that is my biggest pet peeve, is taking God's actual truth, changing it up to fit other people's agendas. And I read you something that is not part of my agenda. I just like that verse because it's something that I've been learning very hard, and it's something that I'm working with. The next question: how do you stay on track in your walk with God? For me, it's consistently reading a daily devotional, going onto my Pinterest board for my gratitude/faithful journal prompts, and to try my best to write in a journal, to pray, at least say a prayer. For me, usually a quick morning for me would be devotional, looking at the text that's part of the devotional, the gratitude journal, and then my uprooting lies and planning truth journal. This time it's in a spiral, not printing out sheets. And also I've been learning, if I listen to Christian music a lot, it helps me stay focused on the Lord in minute tasks. And if a certain song comes on, I'll be singing and I'll be praising. It keeps me on track. But also, I've learned that if I keep opening my Bible more, I start seeing it. I start seeing the truth, and I start staying on track. The next one is, do you believe in the one? To be honest, I haven't watched this person's video, so I know the Summit Church. I watched their live streams. The 1 year, or like a couple years ago, they did a whole series on who's your one. I do have that one that I would pretty much just pray over consistently and whatnot. My favorite book in the Bible is definitely Matthew. Definitely Matthew, because it has the teaching on the Mount. So you have chapter 5 through 7. That's a huge chunk of Jesus' teachings. What do you think is the biggest struggle in the church today? Treating it like it's I have no idea, because I've been on different spectrums. I've been to different churches last month, so it's gonna be kind of hard to figure it all out. But when I do find out, I'll let you know on that question. How do you share your faith openly? I share my faith openly through here now and through my blog, but more my blog and more my posts on Instagram. Now I gotta hear you up because you guys get a 30-minute video. What Bible verse that gives you hope? I have two. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14 and Romans 12:21. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good, not by, with good. Because I memorized that very good, and I say that every day, daily, and it helps. What is your opinions on healings and the gifts of tongues? That I'm going to skip over because, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how to answer that. Have you seen any changes in your life / self since giving your life to Christ? And yes. Yes, 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 I do. I have seen it a lot in my life, and I've seen it in myself, especially currently. To be honest, I see a lot that God has changed, especially how I talk, how I think, how I act with certain things. And now I'm learning that whenever I sin, my actions, my words, and my thoughts do not line up with God's truth. And it's the truth. I've learned a whole lot. And I've seen a lot of changes in myself. And I know for a fact a lot of people don't like the changes that are happening in me. But all I gotta say is, look, God took a weak person. To me, I thought I was weak. But he used my weakness and my brokenness and used it for good to show others that God does not use strong people. He uses the broken. How do we know? It's all in the Bible. Legitimately. Abraham, Sarah, Ruth, David, Daniel. I don't know about Daniel. I haven't read his story yet. I've read parts of David because David has always been talked about consistently. The woman at the well. Mary Magdalene. Anybody that has hardships, he uses them. God used broken people to make things beautiful. I do gotta say, this is the wrap. I know it's been 33 minutes. I do gotta say thank you for those who watched us all the way to the end. Check out my blog post from last week. It's my journey with my lies. Next Monday, I will be doing my video about it and let you guys know personally how has it been going, especially with my 3 current lies that I've been working on. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you would like to see more, especially with the Christian faith and my faith, or the story about anything, testimony, how surrendering was for me, prayer life, whatever. Comment down below. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. If, like I said, if you like anything, just subscribe, comment, hit that bell notifications for the next video. And I do guys say, I'll see you all in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.